The NHL is terrified of this as the St. Louis Blues' future continues to look brighter with two top prospects speaking out going into next season. We're going to break down exactly why Blues fans should be fired up to see both of these players joining the team. We're going to break down all the quotes from the players, exactly why you should be fired up, and so much more later on this episode. Before we get into that, I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone watching. Darius and I are trying to reach a goal of 3,000 subscribers. Blues fans, you have been incredible supporting us since we started just 2 weeks ago. So if you haven't hit that sub button and you want to stay up to date on everything to do around your Blues, make sure to go down and hit that free subscribe button. It helps us out a ton, and we'll keep you updated around the team. But with that, we're going to hop straight into the first topic today, where we did see yesterday, and we did a full video on this. We've seen the St. Louis Blues were ranked 15th in the NHL when it comes to prospects, a lot lower than it should be. And that gave us the idea to really dive into some of these prospects, with the first one being Swedish defenseman Theo Lindstein. Now with this, we know Doug Armstrong said last month that he's going to make the jump to North America, and there's a lot of quotes and a lot to like about this kid. Coming in, he spoke on how he's really developed overseas, playing against grown men. He goes in to talk about some players that he's played with, Silverberg, Lindholm. There's so many guys, and he speaks really on since how he was 16, playing against grown men. But I mean, the biggest thing there is looking at the development of this kid. He gets a lot of comparisons to Victor Hedman, and we'll get into the second prospect soon. But what is your thoughts on his development and him looking to join the team coming this fall?
Yeah, he looks fantastic so far in his development. And obviously he's not going to make an impact, next season, let's say. But this is a guy that I think Blues fans should be absolutely fired up about, that he is in the system and making his way through the system, working his way up. And as you can tell, again, young guy, only 20 years old. He's got some size as well. Like, he's not going to be a guy. The one thing that I think is interesting is, likes to model his game. Like you said, like maybe after Victor Hedman, and he's, drawing some comparisons to him. Nobody is Victor Hedman. Victor Hedman is, of course, a unicorn, but that's a good comparison, right? If you're a Blues fan, especially coming up on the left side there. And we're going to get into another prospect in a little bit. And I feel like there's going to be, something I've been talking about on the channel a lot, a yin and yang kind of pairing coming up through the ranks here, which I think could be really, really good for the Blues. But another shutdown guy, that's kind of what he's projected to be. Shutdown guy. Don't want to compare him to Lindstrom or anything like that. Obviously, the names are very similar, but kind of looking like that type that's going to be like that stalwart defenseman on the left side who can shut down plays, can be used in high pressure situations moving into the future. And the other thing, like you brought up, he's been playing against NHL caliber talent for a long time, since he was, essentially a kid. So he knows what it takes to play in those types of situations against grown men. He's been doing it for a while, and that's going to help him and catapult him, I think, faster to the NHL level, because he just knows what it takes. And, being around guys like that, we've heard so many stories of young guys being able to play with, maybe a Sidney Crosby, let's say, in a World Hockey Championships as like an 18-year-old, and it really helped them, with their development as they grew up into the players that they were going to be. So I think it's a great thing. Spoke very highly of the players as well. He's had that opportunity, and I feel like eventually he's going to be a really, really good defenseman, playing quality minutes for the St. Louis Blues in a role that they, I think, need filled right now. Obviously, the defense looks good heading into next season. Again, I will maintain that, but heading into the future, you do have to start looking ahead at that.
Because I think the biggest thing is looking at the young 20-year-old, going to look at his stats. 9 points don't stand out as flashy, but this is against grown men, ex-NHL players that are in their 30s, and he dominated in the World Juniors, putting up 4 points in 7 games. The year previous to that, he put up 6 points or 8 points, I can't read today, in 7 games. The big thing is his development has looked very good. He's playing against these grown men. We see from it that he is a shutdown guy, but he can also get aggressive and join the attack where he's solid with the puck. I think there's a lot to like about the future of this Blues team. I mean, the current of the team still looks really good with all the young guys joining, or really close to set to joining. But going into some micro stats on Lindstein, the big thing is we look at some stats of his tournament. You can see he's awesome with controlled entries, exits. Everything he does with the puck is fluent, and I think the future looks great. But this really goes in, like you said, the yin and yang of the defense, and it leads into a Jiricek article. All this will be pinned down below, where he said that he's 100% healthy. It was hard. It's not easy. I feel great right now. I'm 100% healthy. Now with Jiricek coming in, brother of Jiricek playing in Minnesota, but The big thing is a really good offensive defenseman, 12 points in 27 games with the OHL, both very highly touted prospects. What is your thoughts on the left side having a really good Victor Hedman Light, and you also get a very good two-way player that's very offensively gifted?
And again, I love defensive pairings like this, but we never know if they're going to play together, right? Like the timeline of both of them. But if they do end up on the team together, I love defensive pairings with that yin and yang kind of that offense. One guy's all offense, one guy's all defense, and they do have some qualities. Again, not to say that they're lacking in either department that is their weakness, but I love it when pairings work out like this. So this could be something that would be really exciting for the Blues heading into the future. But the one thing that really excites me about Jiricek is he has and shares similar qualities to his brother. And his brother's a great defenseman already at the NHL level with the Minnesota Wild and did play, a couple of years ago. But obviously his development with the Columbus Blue Jackets was kind of weird. But anyway, he shares a lot of the same qualities, but he's a lot faster, I think. He has a lot more agile. And, he gives you quality zone entries like this. He can go on the rush, as you're seeing on the screen right now. Like, he can create these chances out of nothing, which not to say that I haven't seen that from his brother, but I feel like he's way more dynamic in that way. Again, the speed factor, like the NHL is just continuing to get faster, and this guy has the speed. The zone entries is so underrated from defensemen in today's game. Obviously, most of the time you just kick it to the forward. You're hoping they can bring it in, but I feel like he can lead the rush, and he's going to go end to end sometimes. From everything we've seen, he's been dominating at the junior level as well in terms of point production. Obviously, maybe he can be a point a game and something like that. But the Brantford Bulldogs, the way they got the team set up, it's a little bit weird. So it's going to be interesting to see where he kind of falls next season. So, obviously, he's still putting up some points, but I feel like he can move the puck. Like, he is an exciting prospect. I dare I say he might even be better, end up better than his brother with some of the qualities that he has offensively. So this is the guy that excites me coming up through the ranks for the St. Louis Blues. But Mark, I don't know how you feel about that, if you share the same sentiment, but just by watching some of the highlights and again, everything, he shares a lot of the same qualities as his brother, but I think that he's just a little bit more dynamic, at least offensively.
Because, 19 years old, he's still going to develop, but what he does with the puck at such a young age is incredible. Looking at his prospect guide coming in, the vision to identify the right play at the pace, and even ability to manipulate opponents from the blue line. Going into everything he does offensively, he's very gifted. The yin and the yang, you can get both of these guys, but it continues on where he spoke about wanting to join this Blues team coming this fall. He's going to go into camp in September and see what happens. My goal is to stay here in St. Louis, but that's not going to happen. We'll see what's going to be next. He goes into wanting to make the team out of camp, and there's a lot to like about this kid and the future of the Blues team. Right now, we know Mayu was recently picked up. Tucker has looked very good. You still have Matthew Kessel, but looking at the future of this blue line, you have some aging guys, Fowler, Parayko, Falk. Falk may not be here when the season starts, but Fowler and Parayko still very good. Looking at the blue line, Darius, real quickly, how excited are you for in 2 to 3 years' time when all these guys are getting into the NHL?
I'm a little concerned. I did say off the top that, this does look good. This defense core does look good, and I'm excited for the season to start to see what they can do. And I'm actually a big fan. A lot of people know, if you've been watching since the beginning that we started this channel, I like Tyler Tucker and his game. So I'm excited to see, if he gets plugged into the lineup more often than not. But I'm a little concerned about, the age factor, the bottom of the lineup a little bit too. The fact that there is some inexperience at the NHL level, I should say. But moving forward, and a lot of people, and even us on the channel, have been talking about, yes, you can add on defense more solidified roles, at least at the NHL level. But moving forward, there is so much to like. Like the guys we covered in this video, you got Mayu, who looks like he's probably going to make the NHL this year. We'll see how camp goes. Of course, anything can change at NHL training camp, but looks like he's going to make the NHL. And he's so young still. Like, there is so much promise coming up through the ranks for the St. Louis Blues that I think Blues fans should be excited about the defense core heading into the future. In the immediate, obviously, you got some good pieces. They are getting a little bit older. Obviously, Parayko, that pairing with Parayko and Fowler has been fantastic and was heading back to last season. I feel like Fowler was really actually unlocked by Parayko and his qualities. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens as we head into the season, who makes the team. One thing's for sure, from everything I've seen, if you're playing well, if you're a young guy and you're playing well, they'll make space for you. They will make a trade heading into the season. So I do wonder if, somebody, at least on the defensive side, the offense is a whole different story, but with the forwards, but I do wonder if somebody on the defensive side kind of surprises through camp and they make some space for him.
And I expect Doug Armstrong to go out and maybe pick up a seventh defenseman, a little bit of a veteran to add into that bottom pairing if they need to. But Blues fans, what is your thoughts on the future? As we already covered, this was a little bit disrespectful. Being at number 15, we know this is a top 10 prospect pool. We're seeing the players join the team and the future looking brighter. What's your thoughts on that? If you want us to cover a certain prospect, put that down in the comments. Let us know your favorite prospect, even if we already spoke on them. We love to talk Blues. So go down and leave a comment. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back another episode, so keep your eye out for that. But I've been your host, Mark, with my co-host, Darius, and take care.